Welcome back to the channel, wonderful people. I'm Vedui for the 2 and I do obviously a lot of guides, and in this case I made a really good underwater AFK XP base, I guess it could be called. I'll have to think of a really snazzy name, but it should be a base where you could idle the whole blood moon away while you're just collecting all that delicious experience from the zombies that come by all night long. We're not really being in any danger at all, and we're doing all that underwater. Now, we're not going to be standing on, well, actually, technically, we will be standing underwater. We will be standing far down below, down there. But the rest of the base is actually up here, because this is where it should be killing them. So what I've done, something fairly straightforward and fairly simple when you make it up on the surface. It's a bit more tedious to do it underwater because, of course, you will be drowning. So while I've done this one in God mode because it's a little bit easier to move around, if I was not, it would look something like this. Of course, it would work. It works. It's just a lot. It's just a lot tedious. You can move around. You'll probably drown and everything, and you'll run out of that breath. Unfortunately, that counts down unless you have the correct skills. You know, it'll be 60 seconds. You can bring that up, I think, 120 or something. Anyway, so you can definitely do this survival. All the materials, everything is survival. And what I've done, I basically set a bunch of dart traps here, tied up with some tripwires and electric fences. And the aim is to be down here, way below here, so that the zombies, when they spawn during the Blood Moon Horde, which is generally over there and over there, will be running in here in order to get to me. And if you caught my previous video, you would have realized that they don't really do very much in the water. They end up here and then they do nothing. Now my hope is that they will be standing in this area without getting caught up on any of this. This is my main concern, that they get caught up and try to bash their way through. I think it's not going to happen, but it could. We'll see how that turns out, and if I have to do any changes here, such as, you know, ramps up or something so they don't get stuck. Because otherwise they should be swimming in here, and then they get skewered by all these dart traps that I have, and that should be killing them, and that should be giving us the experience, and that should be giving, well, maybe some loot at the end when we try to come down here again to loot, which maybe is possible. We'll see. So it's fairly straightforward, and as always, caveat, I don't know how this base is going to work during the Blood Moon Horde, because water is really difficult at times. If I do during the daytime, let's do something like this. Is she? Okay, there she is. This how it looks during the daytime. You get them in. Let's get a few of them in. All right, they swim around and they take damage because they trigger the tripwires and they die. Let's see if I do that to get their attention. Come over here. Yeah. And there she goes. All dead. Nighttime at the Blood Moon Horde, I don't know what's going to happen. I think they're going to swim in here, and I think they're going to die. We'll have to find out, because really weird things can happen underwater. The AI is simply not adapted very well to handle that. So we'll see. At least these strippers are getting really wet here, and they're getting really dead here. But we're going to start at Blood Moon Horde, and we'll see what happens. And isn't that such a very beautiful place? Actually, it looks really good during the... Oh, you're still here. Well, I'm glad you're still here. So what I'm going to transition into now is... Well, you've seen a little bit of how it works, but let me show you how I've made it and what happens when you run it during, well, let's say a Blood Moon Horde. So let's... we're here in the water. Let's go for a swim. And it's so slow. So I'm going to enable God mode here so I can actually move around a little bit. Oh, there's a nice tire here. Let me see if I can... I am totally lost here. I had marked out a really good spot here, which I can't find. Over here. See, that's how easy it is to get turned around. So, as you can see, I have my tunnel here. In order to get to this base, because we are going to be down there. And if you saw my previous video last week about how you actually sort of cheese the the zombie horde, well, then you'll know a little bit of what we're trying to do, maybe. And so we're going to be down here in the underneath the water, and up here is where it's a nice flat little area, which is going to be key because zombies don't really seem to do much when it's a flat area. So we're going to hollow out a little bit here. And by hollow out, I mean we're just going to make it a little bit of a bigger space here. Let's see, here's 3 by 3. We're going to make it a little bit bigger than 3 by 3 because I'm a little bit concerned that if you make it too small, then zombies might actually decide that, hey, you know, yeah, there's a nice place and everything, but we are looking for something to do, and then they start bashing everything around them, which of course is not what we want. We want to sort of keep them occupied by doing nothing, and hopefully this is the best way of doing that. So we're gonna do that. Let's find a slightly different, that's a different color to actually paint that. Yeah, let's do a nice little purple. I always like the purple. And so it's gonna be a 4 by 4 that we're going to have around here, and the intent is that the zombies are going to end up here, and it is reinforced concrete because they might be doing a little bit of digging. We'll see. If they do, then potentially one might have to actually have multiple layers here in order to manage it. But let's see here, we are now here. They're probably going to come from here and from here, so let's see if that's the case. From here and from here. So we're going to, let's see if I can find any. Yes, I do have some of these. And these are, of course, oh, stainless steel. These stainless steels are not really what I want. I want to have reinforced concrete because we want something that you actually could build yourself. So let's see, 4, 5. We're going to go out. Let's see, 1 more and 2 more. Let's do like that and like that. And we're going to put, I think we should actually be able to do this. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that should be pretty okay. We want to make sure we have enough space in between here. Not too much space because it gets to be a little bit of a pain to wire up. Something like this, I think, is good. And of course, we're going to do the same thing on the sides here. And I'll do a little bit of that off cam later on. I just want to show you what I'm referring to. We're going to basically be having rows of something here behind on each side. And of course, it is using arrow slits. So you might be already figuring out that it's going to be dart traps. Dart traps are one of the best way of actually killing the zombies because they have such a huge damage output. And that's something that we really need. So we're going to put that one down here. Let's do, come on, turn the right way. Please, no, all right, that's not the right way. You can get them, yep, that way. We're going to have them turn this way. And we're going to put one turn that way. Let's start with that. So now we have dart trap, dart trap. We're also going to be having something behind, which is called a tripwire. Tripwires are good because, well, they ensure that we are only firing. Oh, let's see. We might. We're gonna do slightly different. We're gonna do this because they will be swimming. I don't know exactly how they will be standing, so we will be doing this and this. So we're gonna have them up here. And then behind, do I have any? Yes, of course I do. We're going to have some electric fences. Perfect. Going to put them here. Now you can actually build this even if you are in survival. The problem with being in survival is that you move really slowly. And if you look down here, we have a countdown timer, which means that you might actually end up drowning. There are some ways to actually avoid that. For instance, by having a small little hut here, it used to be that if you actually have a door, it would... Nope, it doesn't anymore. But you could have a small little hut here that basically allows you to breathe and then go out again and work. Or you basically just make sure you go up to the surface and get another gulp of air. But it is a bit painful to build. I'm not saying otherwise, but definitely can be done. It just takes more effort. So we see here, we have all this done. We are also going to be putting down, let's do that. Okay, so this is the size of it. We are going to, of course, be covering on the side so that we don't have any zombies who are deciding to attack it. So we're going to have to sort of build around that. Hopefully that doesn't cause any issues. Depending on where the zombies come, they could theoretically get stuck here, and that's something, well, I'll have to deal with it if that happens. Of course, we need a generator because we need power. So we're going to put the power behind here. We're going to access it, put in some of these. We're going to actually put more engines in. I don't think we need to really fill it up, but it just makes it a little bit easier. Gonna refuel it and turn it on. There we have it. And the reason I put these ones behind one is because that way, even if you're not in God mode, you can actually access it from behind and turn it on and off, right? So what we're going to do here, going to go from this generator over to tripwire 1. It's a very standard setup, but you have to make sure you get it done. Tripwire 1 goes to tripwire 2. That means that when everything is on, let's turn it on. It's not running. Oh, that's interesting. I can't turn it on. Huh. I wonder if that's because... Okay, that might make it a little bit more tricky. Okay, now it works. So what I did, I basically put it behind here, or rather inside here, one down, so that it's underneath this arrow slit, which means there is no water. I actually didn't realize that that was going to be an issue. I mean, I generally don't put engines inside the water, but it's really interesting that you can actually turn them on if they are inside. Oh, okay, that's good to know at least. I mean, it's a small little thing to actually fix it. It means that we could make this a little bit smaller actually as well, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, so we are going to, because we have that issue, if we do this maybe, then we should still be able to reach in through it. Let's see if that one is still... Yep, we're still working. So we're going to connect, of course, this one. So now this one is live. If I trigger this one, then this one should work. So I'm going to connect the tripwire 2 to the electric fence 2. And we're going to run that all the way back to the first one. So, let's see if I actually... Yep. See, there we go. Sounds don't work really well underwater, so you do see the flashing of the, like that. You see the flashing, but you don't hear the buzzing, which is, I guess, okay. What we then need to do, we need to connect these dart traps. So we're going to do that. I'm going to connect it from tripwire 2 to this dart trap, and I'm just going to run this all the way across to the other side. And then we're going to put in a couple of more dart traps, like so. I want to give you the dart traps. Like so, I mean. And we're going to do there. I'm going to have one there as well. Easiest way to do it is simply just go up here. Because if the bottom one is triggered, then the top one will be as well. Like so. Dart. Let's bring in a bunch of darts here. Let's put in one. Well, one stack at least. 2. Another 3. And let's do a 4 one here. There we go. So now they should be, something swims down. They should be actually getting hit. And let's see if we can do that. Let's do a... Hello, stripper. Do you hear me? Yes. Oh, there we go. You saw she took damage from both the electric fence. She swims fast, but she takes damage from the dart traps, and that should kill her. Okay, it didn't kill her. There, it killed her. So it works. It does set her off, even though she's swimming, and they can swim pretty fast. And actually, well, kills her. I mean, that's the important thing. So let me build up and do the same thing for everything around, because I need to replicate this so we have sort of this as a kill area here, because that's what we're trying to accomplish. Alright, first phase is done. I have now put everything correctly here. I've hooked everything up, and it really is a way of making sure everything is working as one, making sure that everything looks the same way, meaning that you have the yellow one coming to all these tripwires, that you have the blue coming back, that you have the purple one going straight across, and the same thing over here, that everything looks the same way, that you have a yellow going back to the electric fence and down into the below dart traps. And then you might not want to test it out yourself. I mean, now this is, I'm in God mode, I can easily just go across here just to make sure everything is working. But one way of doing it is, once you've had something fighting here, and even if you do it yourself, you should be able to tell that, hey, they have been firing. If all these dart traps have been firing their darts, like you can see here, then it's probably likely working. And because the top one are connected to the bottom one, it means that if the top one is firing, it means the bottom one is firing as well. So at least they are done as far as, and this one was incorrect. So I'm going to basically enclose all these now because we need to make sure that the zombies don't come in and start wrecking them. So let me take a little time of just enclosing them here, putting arrow slips in the front. I'll probably put I need a way in, so I'll put some maybe a hatch here as well, just so I can get in from the top. When you need to repair things, you won't be able to repair anything during the Horde night, obviously, but after the Horde night, you want to make sure that you repair any of the electric fences, because they will be degrading. And of course, you can refill the dart trap simply from the front. Actually, just make sure you turn off the generator first. And good friends, we're done. I have completed it, I have tied it up, and I've made it a lot nicer, hopefully. Coming back here, I wish, well, actually you can see it when you're up here right at the surface. If you go up too much, of course you can't. But if you're up here on the surface, you actually can see it, and I think it looks pretty cool. I have actually, maybe look even better. Yeah, because you don't have that the murky water. And don't drink it, don't drink it. So what I've done, I have the walls obviously here around. Hopefully it doesn't get the zombies stuck. I have a hatch down so I can actually go in and things needs to be repaired and everything. And I have a nice little bullseye in the middle. And of course everything there. And I have here, this is where I have all all the generators. Just one generator actually that is sucking 10 power now because of all the passive draw. And of course every time it shoots and fires things, there will be a lot more draw. Hopefully that's not an issue. I don't think that's going to top out anyway. And we have a dual high dart trap, 5 wide, 1 2 3 4 5 wide here. So that's a 10 dart trap per side. That's 20. We're actually going to do this. I'm going to, let's put in a couple of lanterns here just to make sure that we have a little bit of a light, because it does get dark during the Blood Moon Horde. Actually, no, I don't put it in the middle. So what I actually did as well, I decided to put a bunch of, oh, and I didn't do that properly, which is a little bit embarrassing. Put in a bunch of like this. And let me just quickly address that like that. I put in some plates here just in case they do some digging. So at least I have the plates, and then underneath I have the regular blocks just to last a little bit longer in case, just in case. And this one is offset, which irritates me. And of course we don't want to have something that is irritating me. 1 2 3 4. That should be good. 1 2. Right, of course, it has to be done properly. Apologies. If you're OCD, I'm not OCD. It's just it's symmetrical is good. And if you enjoy all my base builds, why not leave a like on the video? Maybe subscribe if you haven't seen me before. I do appreciate it. It does help me out. Why don't we start a Blood Moon Horde? And isn't that such a very beautiful place? Actually, it looks really good during the right at the end of the day when the Blood Moon Horde starts. Let's see. They should be spawning. Yes, we are having some zombies spawn. And they should be running in here as well. Come on, turn right. Let's see where they're going to be coming. Hard to tell. Really hard to tell because I'm away from the shore. Let's check the that we have. They are at least coming in from somewhere. Oh, is that something there? Is that something there? I see something in the distance. Over here. Which is... Oh! I accidentally stopped them. No wonder they weren't moving. I saw something. I froze the AI. Okay, they're coming in here. This is what we want them to do. We want them to... Okay, all right, now they're coming in. They are coming in. Interestingly, so he was over there, and then he stopped. Oh, that's interesting. What is it doing over there? So I'm literally right below this bullseye. I am not over here. It could be because I have... It could be because I have the plates. Because I don't have plates right where they are. So I wonder if that is... Why am I running out of air? Oh, that's interesting. I've detached the camera and I'm still drowning even though I'm way down there. I mean, you'll see me if I go down. You'll see me. Oh, now I can hear. Okay. I'm way down there. As you can see, I'm standing here. For some reason, I still drown when I get hit by hit the water. And it's actually working. Well, it's working almost the way I was anticipating. I was not anticipating some of them getting stuck outside. Let's see if I do. Oh, yeah. Okay, so maybe... Okay, that's interesting. So they actually get stuck here. For some reason, because of that little plate, they actually get stuck. And removing that plate actually made them... Actually, that's pretty interesting. That means that you can actually dictate where zombies go simply by having plates underwater. Oh, that is so weird. Now, these ones are not moving because they're slightly offset, but they probably, yeah, as soon as there are other zombies coming in, they will actually end up being pushed a little bit. That might end up killing them. Okay, we're going to take out this. We're going to take out that. So now this whole area is level with the ground here. But you see, they sort of seem to want to avoid it. It does mean the ones that are right here might survive, but since they bump each other, it actually kills them as well. And what you notice is that nothing is actually doing anything. They come over here and then they sort of just sit there. They sit there without doing anything. I wonder if he's... So the vulture is also... Oh, he dealt a few hit points. Oh, and he got killed there as well. Oh, I missed that. He dealt a little bit of damage, a few points. Probably when he flew down and bashed something. But this is... I mean, this is probably my best AFK XP Horde base ever. Because even though it's difficult to actually construct because it's underwater, it is 100% safe. I mean, it's super safe. You could call it cheesy, but I would say it's non-cheesy simply because the zombies don't know how to deal with water properly. And if you want to call that cheese, well, I would call it simply that the AI is just not done up to really manage water. And digging in the water, of course, they can swim around, but they can't really do much more than that. And once they are here, well, they actually just get killed and they melt. So this is working awesome. I have right now, I believe I have 12 concurrent zombies. And you see there's just a steady trickle of zombies, not too much. You can imagine you could easily turn on 64. And I might actually be trying that, maybe I'll do that next week. Try that if I can actually run this 64 concurrent zombies. What really happens? Does anything else break? Do I need to have something else? Maybe you need to have cross-firing dart traps in order to make sure you can handle that whole pressure because you'll have so many more coming in. There we go. By seeing that this way, we actually can see them a lot better. So I'm going to speed up this zombie area here. You see the dog is running faster. Now he's not triggering the tripwires because the tripwire is a little bit higher. It doesn't really matter. As soon as there's another zombie, you'll see it's going to take the damage because they swim in and they actually trigger it. And of course they are going faster. He's there. They are spawning in. But they just die so fast. Oh, even that big mama. I wonder how long that demolisher is actually going to survive there, because if nothing bumps him, he won't actually be in the line of any of the dart trap. Let's see what happened. Oh, she died so fast. Oh, there he died. He finally got killed and he didn't set anything off. That spider is swimming a little bit, nothing else. Oh, that looks really, really good. I am continually getting experience, as you can see there in the bottom right. If I had 64 concurrent, it would have been even more. They would have just been trickling. Actually, let me try that. Give me one moment. Let me see what happens. Okay, this is insane difficulty level. They are nightmare speed, and they are... Okay, we're going to detach the camera here as well. Nightmare speed, and let's do this. I'm going to go up here. And with 64 concurrent zombies here, and let's go in here into. So what I've done here, actually, because of the water, I'm going into the camera here, then I get a much better view. Let's see if they're spawning in. They are spawning in. Unfortunately, spawning is a little bit slow. It's unavoidable. Probably, if I had built this a little bit closer, it would have been even faster. Because then they would have been able to get to this place a little bit faster. It's a little bit far from shore, which obviously impacts the spawning. Let me see if I speed up the movement here so we can get them in a little bit faster as well. And you see they're all spawning over there, which is on that side. Nothing is coming from the left side. But even 64 concurrent, this is not an issue at all. Because they actually get killed faster than they spawn. I mean, a few of them come in. You're going to see there's some demolishers coming in. I mean, he lasts literally a split second. The demolisher, he lasts a bit longer. Here's a second demolisher, lasting a bit longer. Yar, he is going to die as well. And there he goes down as well. There goes the soldier. There goes Darlene. There goes whatever his name is, Joe or something. If you like this kind of base, well, maybe try it out yourself. And if you have any other experience with making bases underwater, definitely let me know. I would love to hear from you in the comments. And let me know what other kind of base builds you would like to see from me in the future. See you next time. I'm going to just watch this for a while because this looks so cool. Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm loving this. Just like McDonald's.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the Vedui community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.